Hey family, it's your girl, Color Creations. How is everybody doing out there? Yes, family, I am back. And family, the last video, I ran out of storage. It cut off right at the end. Boom, perfect. And I couldn't even come back. And so, family, I'm working on some things, and this computer has been through it. I have to bag up. I have so many pictures and videos you can only imagine with the research that I've been doing. That yeah, it cut off, and I'm just like, I have an old new computer, meaning it's new, but I bought it maybe a couple years ago. So maybe I'll get that up and running. But family, it don't matter. What matters is I was able to come back and speak to you and give you guys this information. I have some life-changing information for me that I want to share. Oh, shout out to everyone out there who are researching, okay, who they are, where they come from, so they know where they're going, number one. Shout out to our ancestors that are helping us behind the scenes, okay? All right, now, and shout out to Big Mama, all right, the creator of heaven and earth. Everyone knows, but they deny. All right, let's get this video started. Family, I believe this is just going to be a part two of the last video because I got cut off and I was not able to continue. So we're going to just put it together because my next video, I don't want to cram it all. I don't want to cram it all together. I have a lot of information I want to give. We got some storage now. We ready to pop off. Family, we are ready. You know, I woke up. I didn't want to wake up in no Bugatti. I wanted to wake up and find out who I was and who my ancestors were. Okay? All right now. So, I don't even know where to begin because, like I said, I do know where I want to begin. Let's pull up some visuals. I got some visuals, family, I'm going to share because visuals help me personally. I don't know what they do for everyone else, but they help me personally to be able to not only explain something to someone, but a visual so they can see it. Okay? All right, so let's go. We left off discussing the reason why I originally discussed the sundown towns, family, is because the ancestors have brought it up. And, I've been waking up with the downloads of the sundown towns. And I just want to let everyone know to do your research on the sundown towns. Do your research where they're located. I mean, there's a book right here, Sundown Town. It's called A Hidden Dimension, American Racism, Whites Only Within City Limits After Dark by James W. Lowen. But what I want to say is that if you think, and I want my fellow so-called African Americans, okay, which is the real Negro Indian, okay? I want to tell them that if you think the sundown towns and the lynchings after dark stopped or is no longer happening, it's happening, family. It's happening. It's happening whether you want to believe it or not. Okay? So I wanted to raise awareness that it's still happening. They're still hanging the Indians, and they never liked us. They still don't like us. Now we know who we are, and we know where this diabolical you know, all these issues, and it's just been a little overwhelming for my people the last 400 years. Like I said, the diabolical energy that's out there now is coming back. History repeats itself. But see, it stops with the curse breakers. Yes, I so happen to be a generational curse breaker, by the way. And so it stops with us, family. Yes, it does. And I am just excited to be on this journey of awakening to my true identity and, you know, helping others be the blueprint for others to find out who they are, where they come from, so they know where we're going. Okay, so let's get into this. Like I said, this video was a cutoff from the last video. I was supposed to discuss a lot of this. So we were talking about, let's go back to what we were talking about, because I got a lot of information. We were talking about our fellow Africans. Yay. I have a dear African sister that I love with all my heart. But unfortunately, my truth sets me free, and I'm sure my buddies, I'm sure they understand my journey, and I hope that they can continue on this journey with me, with an open heart and an open mind, you see. And so, you know, like I said, I have friends all over. I just had a couple buddies from Dubai fly in because I am interested in looking at property over in Dubai. And it's just so beautiful over there. And so, yeah, and so I am interested in a lot of different things. And so it's just interesting to see different sides of different races, and to know that America runs a little different than the other countries. For instance, all the other countries in the world know who we are, but we don't know because, you know, we've been told a lie, and some of us believe that lie. Sorry, family. Some of us believe that lie, and some of us don't. Okay? And so, yeah, I left off talking about black, okay, being a skin color, okay? And I want everyone to understand. I went over the Africa, the Asia, the New Zealand, the India, the Australia. I went over this picture to my right already, okay? But I want to go over the difference between the African and the African American. Because right now, family, this is where the fire is going. This is where it's going to get really hot, okay? Now, many of us know that we're not African, and many of us don't. I'm speaking to everyone, whether you know it or not. Today, when you click on my video, guess what? You're going to find out that you are not from Africa, that your ancestors are not African, that we don't even share the same ancestors. Okay? All right. So, this picture, Africa and America in 1798 AD, if you do a Google reverse search, these two paintings were painted by a British painter. So this is what the British thought of African America. Now, if you look at Africa, they are black. That's black. Now, that skin color is black. And I know I'm not racist. I'm just keeping it 100. The skin is black on the African, which is beautiful. Okay? Because, you know, they've been telling us the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. But that is not true, family. That's impossible. But anyways, we're going to keep going. So this is a depiction of Africa. They're a little darker. And then you got America over here with the copper color creation that was found here. So we're copper tone to red to, we can get dark too, but if you look on the left, we are the copper tones versus the black Africans. Okay, they're darker than us. Their skull shapes are different phenotypes, different ancestors. They can't grow beards and mustaches. It's so many different, like, for one, there is not one documentation on this earth connecting us with them. The only documentation is that we were brought over here. Some of our ancestors were brought over here. Some of their ancestors were brought over here. And then we mingled with some people that we don't even like, and they don't even like us. I can't so much say that we don't like them, because my people, like, we have a lot of love and compassion in our hearts. Okay? We trust you until you give us a reason not to. Okay? And so the African, all right, their ancestors went to war with our ancestors. And not to say, well, our ancestors didn't like their ancestors, let's keep the hate going. No, but we must not forget the apple do not fall far from the tree. Okay? And so we have been lied to and mistaken to think that our enemies' ancestors are our ancestors. That's like the laughing stock of, like, they're laughing at us. Not really, though. Okay? Not really. Because the buck stops here with me. All right? Now, let's keep going. For those that don't know, the so-called African American is the original American Indian mixed, like I've been saying, with Irish, which would be European. So the African American has two royal bloodlines. And I've been saying this for years, and people are like, what? Huh? Yes. Okay. And the more you dig, then you'll see. No, it's not confusing. We have two royal bloodlines. We have royal bloodline from Ireland, which would be our European ancestry. And we have royal blood from our so-called Native American, which is American Indian ancestry, which would be our founding mother, Pocahontas, aka Matuka, and I'll go over that a little more, and my Discoveries family. All right. And so I just wanted to get this video out to let my so-called, this video is for everyone. Everyone, whether you're a pink, purple, blue, African, Asian, Irish, European, whoever you are, this video is for you, so you can understand how important it is for you to find out who you are, where you come from, so you know where you're going. So you're not deported thinking you're native to the land. See, it's very important that you do the research on that, no matter who you are, because you can be deported tomorrow and not even know, because you think you're ancestors. So that's why, my journey started, family. I went deep, like I said, 5 years ago. I went deep. And I spent thousands of dollars on genealogists and genealogy and this and that, because in the beginning, I was so busy. I was like, I just don't have time for this. I'm just going to pay. I did my research on people who I thought at the time were honest people, because there are a lot of scammers out here, family. So be very careful. And so I spent a lot of change, like I said, and so I hired a couple good ones, and the first one led me to the bloodline of Pocahontas, Powhatan, Pamunkey, um, and the Nansman tribes down in Virginia. So shout out to that brother who did lead me down the path of Pocahontas. That brother told me that Pocahontas was my auntie. Okay. So for maybe 4 or 5 years, I've been running around here stating that Pocahontas is my auntie, which is not true, family. Okay. So although I am in the bloodline, I'm going to clarify everything. And then I hired my second genealogist who covered my European, my Irish genealogy. And so I was successful with that one. There was a couple things that I needed to go over. But what I had to do was, after spending all that money, my genealogy was not correct. And so I had to go over and do some research myself, which I wanted to when I first found out that my genealogy was not, and I didn't tell anyone, I didn't come to YouTube and I didn't go to Instagram. No, I waited until I could figure things out. And so now is the time for me to address this. And so I've always dug into my Irish side, and I know exactly who I am on that side. And like I said, I'm going to do a separate video focused strictly on my European blood side, my royal European Irish side, like many of us have. And so I'm going to focus on the Native American side for a moment here. And I'm going to say that the reason I do what I do, the reason why I'm starting my genealogy website, the reason why I'm starting my workbook, it's going to be free. My workbook will be free. The whole reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is because not only have we been lied to, but me specifically, I hate being lied to. My frequency and my energy is just keep it real, even when it goes wrong. Yes. And so when I discovered I was lied to, I literally, and I paid money for this genealogy. So I decided, after learning my true identity, I want to help others because it's so amazing to find out how special and how spiritual our ancestors were, connected to nature and animals and the ground, just period, to mama, to big mama, to mother nature. And so it's very important that if you are a curse breaker, that you understand that finding out and connecting to your ancestors is key to being a curse breaker. You can't walk around saying you're a curse breaker and you're not connecting to your true ancestors. Okay? So, number one, I discovered that, well, first of all, I want to say this. If you've been following me, you've known I've been going through a lot of chaos and drama from family, friends, foe, institutions, etc., etc. I've been in the battlefield very, very, very deep, unlike no other. And I questioned it the whole time until it got to a certain point where I was like, okay, I know my journey. I'm supposed to come and give a message from the divine. I know I'm getting downloads, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't know that, I didn't know how connected this journey would be, I know it sounds crazy, with doing my genealogy, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't know my anointed path would be connected, I know, to my ancestors or my genealogy, but it's all coming together as one. So it's making sense for me. And it's very exciting. Okay? So let's go. Now, what I discovered, family, and I'm going to do a separate video on this. This separate video is going to be called Who Are My Ancestors? The Pocahontas People. Okay? Now, I discovered that not only is Pocahontas, Matuka, is not my auntie, she is actually my 12th generation great grandmother. Yes, family, she is my 12th great grandmother. Do you know what that means? And if many don't know what that means, number one, it would explain why I've been harassed by the military, government, institutions, family, friends. It just would explain why I've been targeted, gang stalked. I've even had military weaponry used on me. I have proof, I have video. I don't even need to prove anything to anyone, but one thing I will say is this. I'm still alive, family. No matter what or who tried to end me or stop me from continuing moving forward, okay? I should not be here, all right, family? And I have been protected by my ancestors. So if you want to know who my ancestors are, I just told you who my 12th generation great grandmother was. Okay? So that would mean my grandfather, okay, was someone that was very, very highly ranked in the spiritual realm. Okay? All right? And I've warned many to be careful how they treat me because I could feel my ancestors' energy. I could feel the protection. All right, family. And so we all, many of the so-called African Americans think that their ancestors are African. So they are not tapping in and honoring and connecting and acknowledging and restoring their ancestors' energy because they're disconnected. And that is the whole problem here, family. You connecting to your ancestors' land and your ancestors' energy helps you with remembering who you are, remembering who they are. Is so important. So to cut a certain race off from knowing who their true ancestors are, because, they have their own selfish reasons, my beef is with, a couple guys. The number one guy that I have a problem with is Walter Plecker, family. Here's another visual of where our identity went and why we don't know who we are and why we are hated because of who we are. Okay? And so I'm saying this because with this education, don't believe me, just do your own research. And once you have this knowledge, you should start walking around with the energy of, wow, okay, I see why you hate me. It's okay. I love you though. All right. And so, we got a culture, ancestral identity, Melville Herskovitz, however you say your name, sir. Melville created the genocidal lie of American Negroes coming from African slaves only, changing their cultural identity, when all actuality, we come from royalty, okay, on both sides of our mixed bloodlines. All right. Now, and so what's crazy is no matter how much I resonate with my American Indian heritage, my Irish blood is pumping so hard. Like my face, I'm full of freckles. And so it's like it's all coming together. And so once you realize why we look a certain way, it's because we're mixed in family. Okay? All right. And it's not with African. All right? Okay. The African man, their ancestors sold them out. Okay? Just so you understand what's going on. So that's why there is so much chaos in their land, because in Africa, all Africa is, it's a melting pot full of tribes, of different tribes of people who don't even know each other. They don't even get along over there. They are at war. They are killing people. There is no, think about it, family. I want y'all to think about it. This is what, when I'm in deep meditations, when I'm in my womb meditation, you know what I think about? I ask my ancestors, I wonder what was my ancestors like, right? Even though you got wicked people all over the world, but like the love and compassion that's coming back on this earth, I'm telling y'all, Big Mama is on earth in the flesh. Yes, the founding mother, okay? The divine feminine energy, okay? The matriarchal system is back here on earth. Whether you can smell it, breathe it, see it, feel it, I don't know, family. But I'm praying that you tap in to her energy, and balanced your masculine and feminine energy out. But most important, tap into Big Mama's energy. Okay? That's so important, because it's a lot of people who decided to cut themselves off from the creator, and they can't get that energy anymore. So they go around sucking up everybody else's energy. Those will be called energy vampires, family, by the way. And so that's why you have to protect your energy at all times. And moving forward, I want to say that when you know who you are and you connect to your ancestors, you get your spiritual gifts. Your spiritual gifts are passed down to you from your ancestors. You're not out here with these spiritual gifts just because, okay? And some of them you can learn, but some of them come natural, all right? And like I said, I'm honoring both sides of my ancestors, and I'm raising their energy up. I'm making sure when I wake up every morning, I'm calling on their names, making sure they understand that I am ready to be activated. Okay? It is time. All right? Now, Let's talk about the benefits. Walter Plecker, the eugenist, took away the American Negro Indians' benefits and gave it to the whites and Mexicans. Okay, now the image is it Ellis Hardlicka, eugenist Ellis Hardlicka changed it's probably, I could care less how you pronounce it, but family, do your research and Google these people. Changed the picture of the original Indians from Negro Indian to Mongol Asians. Now, okay, I want to bring an image up right here. Now, this is what the Choctaw people look like right here, family. Okay? That's what they say they look like right now. Right? Now, it ain't my duty to bust in there and say, you know, y'all some liars and blah, blah this and blah, blah that. But, you know, in 1798, America, this was the mama of America, the emblem of America. So how did the emblem of America, I just want to know, how did the emblem of America go from this? Let's see. We got this. These chocolatiers. They started like that. Yeah. Yeah. They started like that. They started like that. And then they got like that. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. We got the Mongolian, Malayan, Caucasian, the African man, and the what? Wait a minute. I know that ain't a black man with a nose like my grandmama had that say American on there. And then it's another black guy with another wide nose that say African. Wow. Ain't that crazy? All right. So that's what they said. Okay. Here's another visual. Virginia passed two acts in 1682 that combined Native Americans and Africans into one category as Negroes and other slaves. Okay, bang. I mean, we have all this proof right in front of us, and we just gonna sit and let people just destiny swap us, because that's basically what this is. This is a destiny swap, family. Yeah, this is a destiny swap. Wait, let me put these visuals up together. This is a destiny swap. AKA paper genocide, because these ain't the same people. Okay, so let's do this. Where my Choctaw, my original Choctaw? Let me bring them up, because I want y'all to see this. And so that's why you got to stand on business when it comes to your genealogy. Okay? And I'm going to explain all that, why it's so important. Okay. This the Choctaw that gave a check to the Irish, to Ireland for the potato famine. Okay? I was trying to tell y'all that them bloodlines had mixed together. Okay? And, you know, they had love for each other. The Irish and the Indians, the real Negro Indians. And they had so much love that, you know, during the potato famine, shoot, you know, the Choctaw cut a check that, you know, like was a big check to help their family. That they considered them as family. And so, you know, it's proof, it's documented. It ain't no surprise. But these people say they the Choctaw right now. But this was the Choctaw back then. So, you know, enough of the circus. Enough of the circus. Let's find some more visuals, family. Let's find some more visuals for you. Oh, I found a visual I wanted to talk about. I got cut on. It's a reason I got cut off on that last video. Okay? And so it says the Washington Post in February 19, 2022. And they just be posting stuff and seeing that people paying attention. I pay attention to everything. Okay? Don't forget I'm divinely guided. Okay? And so I don't miss anything. A century ago, Mississippi Senate voted to send all the state's black people to Africa. They just want to. There's a reason, family. There's a reason. They just want to send all blacks to Africa. Huh? Everybody to Africa. The Negro Indians, this they land. They just African American men transfer, just go to Africa. All blacks just go to Africa. Huh? A century ago, y'all. Family, whew, meditate on this. A century ago, Mississippi's Senate wanted to send every so-called black person to Africa. Wow. It's just diabolical. Yeah. That's the diabolical energy I speak about. Okay? They wanted to send all black folks to Africa, whether you were Indian or Russian or Australian or from England or black Asian, gone back to Africa. Back, we never originated there. That's the biggest problem they got. You can zap our memory. You can brainwash us, MK Ultra us, all you want to. But once that ancestral DNA is activated, it's game over. Okay? And that's pretty much what's happening right now. A lot of my people are waking up to their true identity. Okay? Family? And that's good. Let's go. There's another book I want you guys to go get too. This one is called The Black America's Handbook for Survival Through the 21st Century, The Forgotten Truth Behind Racism in America, The Secret Heritage of America. Okay? The Secret Heritage of America. You get it? All right? They want it to be a secret. All right? There is no secret here in America. Now, many of our ancestors, all right? I'm not the only one. I did my research. I'm just setting the blueprint, okay? Many of our ancestors are direct descendants of Matuka, aka Pocahontas. Okay? All right? Now, when I first discovered my connection to her and I started to research other family trees that was connected to her, okay? Direct descendant, lineal descendant is what it's called. And so I reached out to a couple people. For instance, let's go over some last names, family. And I'm putting, when I get my genealogy website together, like I said, I'm getting it together, and my books and my workbook, I'm going to put a list of ancestors of last names that are European, Irish, Gaelic from Wales, or American Indian last names, okay? And so here's a map of Virginia, because people laughed at me when I said Virginia was my land patent. And I said, everybody, find out who you are. Find out where you're going, so you know where you get your land patents. Connect to your ancestors, so your ancestors can tell you who your land patents are. Now, people can laugh at me and my ancestors all you want to, but my ancestors told me. My grandmama said, my grandmama told me that my land patents was the state of Virginia. Okay? So we just gonna stay tuned for that, family. All right? I'll let y'all know. All right? So, family, when I started digging into genealogy and I found out that I was royalty, I wanted to know what other bloodlines were incorporated. So if you are a Williams, okay, if you are a Culp, Culp, if you are a Johnson, if you are a Price, what other ones did I do research on? I've done research on all of them, but these are the ones that I'm standing on business with, okay? If you are it's so many others, but I'm thinking those are the ones that I have been really going real hard on. So I ran into a couple people. I grew up with a couple Prices in my neighborhood. And so I had an opportunity to ask. I don't know him personally, but I do know a Price. And so if you have to understand, I started interviewing people. Once I got the knowledge, I just wanted to know if people truly knew who their ancestors were. Okay? For instance, I did a study on Price. Okay? I have is it a Sarah Price? I have two bloodlines. Yes, Sarah Price into my bloodline. And so when I found out, I said, well, let me go and see if anybody else knows. So I'm like, I reached out to him and I'm like, hey, do you know who your ancestors are? And one of my so-called brothers stated that his ancestor was from Jamaica. And I was like, Jamaica? And I'm like, okay, all right. Because, when people tell me stuff and I'm like, all right, well, I still want to work with you. I still want to help you out with your genealogy. Maybe, we might can find some Indian in it. And so I did, extend the invitation. But one thing I want to say is this. The name Johnson, Culp, Williams, Price, all have one and two things, baby. Okay? And I'm gonna put that out there. If you know anyone that has Williams, Price, Johnson, and Culp, they have now Price means nobility in the Welsh, in the Irish, from Ireland. Okay? So if you got a last name Price, then you need to do your genealogy. I don't know if someone lied to you or if you think you are from Africa or Jamaica. That is a lie, because I have dug deep into my people's ancestry. Okay? And so study where your last name came from first before you adopt a race that you probably got connections to. But like I said, I'm going hard on the Williams, the Johnsons, um, and the Culps because I am a Johnson. Okay, like Johnson and Johnson baby oil. I am a Johnson family. All right. Now, let me get this down because I just wanted to share this. People need to understand why we are hated so much. I ran across this. I follow this app, and when I read this, I felt this in my soul. Okay, he said, "I'm a white American, and sometimes I notice that my African immigrant coworkers are jealous towards my African American coworkers. Why is that?" Okay. And I have to address the elephant in the room. I think I did on our last video, but I will say this. I got me some African buddies that I love dearly, but I've also let them know that I must bring this truth to the front. Whether they like it or not, they can ride with me, they can rock with me and roll with me, or they can just jump off the bandwagon. They can break the generational curse with me for their bloodline in bringing this truth out. Okay. But what I want to say is the African man is cursed. Um, their bloodline is cursed because they are, let's bring them up. Let's see who's gonna be cursed. You'll know what nations are cursed. Mother Nature gonna let you know. It's about to get rough out here. It's about to get rough. Okay? So I believe, and I have to go back on my research because I do so much reading, but family, I believe it was 7 different nations that came against us, okay, and tried to steal our identity, which is connected to your birthright inheritance. That's what all of this is all over, family. Okay? So if anybody wants to know why we've been reclassified so many times, why the world hates us, why we are killed by the police so much, why the government plots on us, why, okay, is because our birthright inheritance is American patents all around this world. And if we truly awaken to our true identity and we connected to our European ancestors over there in Europe, they're probably wondering why we don't want to connect to them. I don't know what lie has been told. I don't know what the narrative is, family, but I know that it stops with me. Yes, it does. It stops with me. I am no longer, family, okay, wondering who my ancestors are, all right? Because some people are acting like they are us. Now, I'm calling out my African buddies. They know who they are. They know who we are. And they know what their mission was when they came over here in America. Okay? They know what they were told to do and how to treat us. Okay? All right? Many of them have came to me and told me, yes, before I got to my immigration papers, I was told to stay away from you, that you were a bad person, that you lie, that you steal, that you cheat, that you are a cursed bloodline. I gotta I have to laugh to keep from crying, family. Yes, I do. So now our African buddies who knew who we were played along with the cosplay, and acting like they were us, benefiting our royal status. At the same time, they're jealous of us. They don't really like us. Not all of them, family, because like I said, I have dear ones dear to me. But majority of them, they know who we are. Family, they know who our ancestors are. Yeah, they know who we are. We know who they are. Trust me, they know who we are. Now, does that mean go around and, because right now, I heard, through the grapevine, that we are supposed to be boycotting the Africans, the African braid shop, the Africans, whatever they offer. All right? We supposed to be boycotting the so-called African Americans. That's just what I hear. But all that is I'm going to tell you what's about to happen, family. The truth is coming out of what they did and who they are and who their ancestors are. All that hate is coming out. All right? All right? We went to majority of the war, the Civil War, family, just so people understand this. The Civil War was about us as American Negroes going to war with our family. The North and the South at war. Negro Indians at war. Yes, yes, yes. That's what the Civil War was about. We went to war with our own people. And guess what? That gave the enemies all that opportunity to come in and hijack everybody. Yes, if you really want to know what happened, that gave the enemy. So when we went to war with our own people, that gave the enemy room to come in and say, okay, we finna revamp y'all. And so by them doing that, family, by the government, the military, the FBA, the FBI, the CIA, the human rights, the United Nations, by them turning you into an Afro-American, African-American, Black, Negro, by them erasing your identity, they cut you off your birthright inheritance, which would be your inherited indigenous Native American land patents. That's why they did all this work. That's why the whole world don't want you to know who you are. Okay? But like I said, it stops with your girl, CopperColorCreations. That's me. Family. It stops with me. All right? And I am excited to help other people out. Like I said, I was before my time. I'm still might be a little bit ahead, but that's okay. For those that are ready, because it seems like you're ready. Seems like you are ready to find out who your ancestors are. Now, I know who my ancestors are. And shout out to them. They know I've been going through it. And, it's okay. I have been in this battlefield against hidden enemies, hidden corporations, okay? People that don't know, I know the agenda they have for me, Okay? And so at the end of the day, you know, my message is not to spread hate against the vanilla Caucasian white man, the African man, the Asian man, the Russian, you know, the Jew, the whoever you are. No, that's not my message, because see, that's not my energy, or that's totally not my ancestors' energy. I would never do that. But like I said, me speaking this truth, I don't want anyone to think that the truth is hate, because the truth ain't never hate. I'm just setting my bloodline free by breaking these generational curses. So yes, I'm gonna ruffle a couple feathers, okay? But that's okay, because what you figure out is all uh, birds of a feather flock together, and you'll know who is our true enemies by following the money, okay? And so we're here, family, the great reveal of who so many African Americans are. You guys are Pocahontases, aka Matoka. You guys are you guys are Pocahontases people, okay? And so I'm going to, my next video is strictly focused on those specific bloodlines that I just announced, and helping you guys get your land patents back, claim your true identity. Okay? That's what we want to do. Reparations? Nah, we don't want reparations. We want restoration, reclamation. We want our ancestors' land patents back. Okay? We don't want reparations, because our ancestors were not African American slaves that came over here on a ship. They were European servitude slaves that came, prisoners of war, that came and was freemen. So, you know, all the lies that we've been told will be debunked. And like I said, I got my ancestors, they've been on my neck, okay? They've been on my neck, family, and there's nothing I can do about it but just continue to move forward and spreading this truth and awaken as many people. And if I don't, that's okay. Because family, when I get my land patents, yes, I'm not the type of person to say, I told you so. I'm going to be honored to help other people figure this all out. And that's all my energy is about. Okay? You know, 400 years of lies. You're this, you're cursed, you're that. So all these nations that came against my ancestors, you came against me. And one thing that I know, I am not my ancestors. I am like a 10.0 version of my ancestors. Okay? So I'm not going to let you play in my face. So these nations came against your ancestors. Okay? They didn't go away. They didn't say, okay, we're going to throw in the towel. They're still going against us finding our true identity out. Okay, family? So it's very important, like I said, to tap in. I'm going to be releasing some more videos, and I'm going to be releasing my family trees, and we need to connect these dots. Everybody, okay? If you are a so-called African American, I'm going to leave you with this, okay? I'm going to leave you with a couple things. Your main position should be trying to locate birth certificates for at least your great-grandmother, at least up until your great-grandmother, and find out if there is colored on their death certificates. If there is colored on their death certificates, then there's a cover-up. Okay, family? All right, now, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video because, like I said, I am working on a lot of things. I am finishing up my book on purity and my journey of being celibate and how good it feels and how important it is. If you are interested in manifesting and calling in your soulmates, um, what else? I am not, now that I know my true genealogy, it changes a lot, family. I am able to, I have a fight in stolen land now. And so that's what I'm doing. It's me against all these institutions until my real soul tribe awakens and connects to me. Many of them are already awakened. We just need to connect the dots. So until then, family, I am going to leave you guys with the energy of this, okay? It's so important for you to find out who you are, where you come from, so you know where you're going, and breaking these generational curses, not just for your selfish reasons, but for your children and for your ancestors as well. It's so important to free the bloodline of these lies and gain access to your ancestors' land. Not only, not only is it your birthright, but it is your DNA. It's in your DNA. All right? Okay, now, family, I am going to be working on some things. Like I said, I am all about reciprocation. So I have to go by the law. I'm rebranding all of my businesses and I'm doing things the right way. When you're in alignment, you tend to just get everything in order. And so I am going to leave my what am I leaving? Oh, I'm leaving my P.O. Box information and my Cash App information because I don't monetize on this channel, obviously. I get copyright strikes because of my music. Now, family, I don't know why, because the music that I use is free, supposed to be free. So they tell me that the copyright is not a strike, but I got a copyright. So good thing I am not trying to monetize, but I am interested in reciprocating my energy. So if there's something you want to send me, a card, you want to donate to the channel, anything you want, I will leave my PayPal, or is it Cash App? No, I think Cash App. No, I'll leave my Cash App and my P.O. Box. And if anyone is interested in sending me any information, or whether it's digital, I'll leave my email and I'll leave that. Or if you're interested in buying me a house or an island, no, family, but for real. So I am going to leave that in the description. And what else did I want to leave you guys with that I'm doing? I am almost done with the workbook. The workbook, like I said, I decided that it's going to be free. This workbook will help you connect to your true ancestors without hiring a genealogist that's going to take all your money and lie to you. Okay? That is the mission for me and my workbook to my people, to help my people find out who they are. Okay? And that is what I want to accomplish. And so I'm going to be putting out, I'm going to do my divine dating. I'm going to do another Who Are My Ancestors, specifically focusing on Pocahontas's people. And I'm going to do Who Are My Ancestors, focusing on the European bloodline, the Irish bloodline that many have no idea that they are a part of a royalty European royalty. And so that is my focus on that one. And that's kind of where I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, family? If I forgot anything in this video, because I'm sure I have, I always do, but I will add it in the next video, family. Until next time, family, one.